to remain at the cutting edge.
Time for the answer has expired. Senator Anning.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. My question is for the Minister for Education and Training, Senator Birmingham. Minister, on the 12th of June, while attending a meeting of the Red Tape Committee in Brisbane, I was present when the committee received submissions about childcare in Australia. At this meeting, I asked the representative of the Department of Education and Training about two women who are at the centre of an alleged $5.7 million family daycare fraud, but failed to obtain an informative response. Since your department appears unable to provide any clear information on this issue, can the minister detail what process was that allowed the department official to sign off on 11 cheques totalling $5.7 million for some 1,600 children that were enrolled on the same day by the same person?
The Minister for Education and Training, Senator Birmingham.
Thanks, Mr. President, and I thank Senator Anning for his question. Senator Anning's obviously asked about a particular and specific instance, and I will more than happily take the particulars in terms of that instance on notice, and if I can provide further information to Senator Anning about that individual case. What I can inform Senator Anning through you, Mr. President, is that the Turnbull government has taken a number of steps over a period of time to ensure that there is a zero-tolerance approach around fraud, particularly in the family daycare sector. Our actions have seen a significant savings accrued. In fact, over the course of the first 6 months of this year, we've delivered an integrity surge that has generated savings of around $1 billion of claims that would otherwise have wrongly been made. We've done that through cooperation with different departments between the Commonwealth and state and territory governments, data matching to identify those who may be doing the wrong thing and making erroneous or indeed illegal claims. We have suspended many services and we have upped compliance activity from what, when we took office, saw just a few hundred checks per annum on family daycare services conducted, to today more than 4,000 checks per annum on services conducted, to ensure we have a much tougher audit regime that's catching more people out, that's leading to more suspensions of services. It's seen dozens of matters referred for legal action, and indeed has resulted in a number of individuals who are indeed facing criminal charges or have been convicted and are in fact serving time as a result of their defrauding of the Australian taxpayer. We will not tolerate it. We have taken whatever action we can, and our new childcare system coming into effect on the 2nd of July has stronger safeguards and a better data system to help ensure we can prevent this even more effectively in the future.
Senator Anning, a supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. President. It stuns me that the minister is not aware of this particular case, but given what appears to be a disastrous failure of fiduciary responsibility by the department, can the minister assure the Australian taxpayer that there aren't any more instances of funding misuse, and if there are, to what extent?
Senator Birmingham.
Mr. President, what I can assure Senator Anning, all senators and the Australian public, is that we take compliance very seriously. On our estimates, the range of compliance measures we've taken in terms of tightening regulation, increased compliance checks and audits, and ultimately suspensions of services or cancellations of services have saved around $2.4 billion over the last few years and into the future in terms of what could have been wrongfully claimed subsidies. And we will continue to take that zero-tolerance approach. As I was indicating at the conclusion of my last answer, the new childcare subsidy coming into effect on the 2nd of July has tighter regulatory arrangements around it that will better enable officials to control the flow of money to service providers. It has a better IT and data integrity system around it that will better enable officials to identify where rorting may happen and to shut it down instantly, and to make sure that this type of rigorous action, including throwing the book and charging individuals, occurs where it can.
Senator Birmingham. Senator Anning, a final supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can the minister tell the Senate whether the people responsible for this horrendous oversight are still employed in his department?
Senator Birmingham.
Mr. President, again, I took the particulars in relation to this case on notice, and we will provide that information back to Senator Anning. What I can say is we have put more resources behind compliance, auditing and integrity checks than's ever been the case before. As I indicated in the primary answer, when we took office, there were just a few hundred audits undertaken each year and there had been 0 suspensions or cancellations. We're now undertaking more than 4,000 audits each year and we've engaged in more than 100 suspensions or cancellations just through the 6-month integrity surge, many more in addition to that. So indeed officials are taking very serious steps, not just to drive out of the system people who are doing the wrong thing, but where they can, working with the Australian Federal Police, which has seen charges laid, seen successful convictions and seen individuals thrown into jail as a result of their ripping off of the Australian taxpayer, which we will not tolerate and we continue to tighten the net on.